Hey guys, I'm Adam with Sweener Builders, a lead carpenter here, and today I'm going to be showing you how we pre-assemble our trim packages for the exterior of the house. I'll go over all the parts with you guys, our sill, our legs, our head, our crown, and our cap, and I'll show you how they all, and actually also our return, and I'll show you how it all comes together. Here we are at the assembly table. I've cut all my pieces from a cut list that I developed based on the window size. I've got my head casing here, I've got my legs, I've put a bevel rip in the backside to allow for the flange and the butyl tape that builds the window off the house, but because I still want my casing to sit nice and flat against the sidewall there. So I ripped a 3-degree bevel here, and then this extra little rabbet to allow for the gasket on these specific windows. All right, so I think we're ready for assembly. So basically, I use the Kreg pocket screw system here. So what I have to do is I have to clamp down the piece that you're screwing into. And then glue up my leg. All right, so what I'm using here is an 1.5" exterior grade coarse thread Kreg screw. It's kind of my screw of choice on these. It bites very nice, and I get just enough depth in there that it holds it together until the glue sets up. You don't have to put too much pressure down because the clamp will hold the head down, and then the screws will actually pull me down into place where I need to be. So what I'll also do is, because it's going to be moving around, and I really want this glue to set up. So because I'm going to be moving this around so much, is I add a couple backer braces here. And what I'll do is I'll actually hang them over about 1 inch on the front here. Now this will also help me catch my cap when I install the cap afterwards, which you'll see very shortly. All right, so that's the top part. So now we'll move down and we will install the sill. I have a 7/8 inch spacer that's going to wind up spacing my sill off of the house a certain distance, which will basically allow for my flange here. You know, you got your flange here, and this is allowing for the flange. What it also is going to do is that we are using a rain screen on the house, which what it does is it builds my sidewall shingles off the house. So I really need more than this allotted rabbet size here. So this also gives me an extra, say, it looks like about 1/4 inch, just about 1/4 inch, to really tuck my shingles up there, and that's what we're looking for. That's the reason for the extra space, if anyone's wondering here. Get a little glue going. Kreg set up, and I've got my 1 inch spacer marks because, again, the sill is going to have 1 inch horns on either side. Just going to flip her over, wipe a little glue off. Now, if your joints come out a little bit high, if you didn't clamp hard enough, you can easily touch it up. You can easily touch them up with a palm sander. Obviously, the point of the clamping is to get them perfect, or just a light. Pretty much a light sanding brings you right back into the game. All right, now it's time to install our cap that attaches to the head casing. All right, so I've made 45 marks on either side, which really just help me line up where this is supposed to go here. So basically slide it into place, just check that my numbers are right, and it looks pretty darn close. So we'll do. All right, so the glue is complete. Now we can slide her into place. All right, so now that that's attached, we're ready to install the crown. So I'm going to swap my nails. I used a 2-inch stainless brad to install the head cap. And now I'm going to drop down to an inch, 18 brad to install the crown. So now, this is where my 45s really help me out. Those little 45 marks that I made, I essentially slide the cap up and line it up on both sides, and if my numbers are correct from my cut list, I should be in pretty good shape here. I'm going to switch guns again. I'm going to set up my 23 gauge if needed with a 1 3/16 stainless nail. Grab a few of my clamps here. 3 for that side. 3 for that side. And we'll just make sure we're fitting pretty well there. So what I'll do is I'll tack it in place with the 23 gauge, and then I'll use my Collins clamps to really make sure that miter stays right where I want it to. Gives the glue time to set up as well. These guys are super handy, these Collins clamps right here, for all types of miters, but on crown specifically. All right, we'll let that sit for a minute. Proceed to the other side, do the same thing. But again, once that sets up, we'll be in good shape. As you'll see, I build my my casings with the crown return long here. So at this point, you can tell the trim has been painted, my joint has been touched up if needed, and it's also, the glue is nice and set up. So this is a nice solid unit. So now we have to allow for the shingles to tuck behind there. So what I'm going to demonstrate is it's a two-pass system. The first pass with my multi-tool is just to take out some of the meat so I can slide this first shingle that's going to go one course below the final course that slides under here, just to take out some meat. This is a rough pass so I can get this guy tucked under there. Now I use this basically just as a rough gauge of how far I need to get inside there. Then you can use any tool of your choice to kind of knock out. Again, this is the rough pass. You just want to remove that material so you can slide that first shingle right up there. Again, for demonstration purposes, again only. If we're doing this for a final, my cuts will be super tight. But again, this is just a mock-up. Afterwards, there will be the rain screen behind here, but I just want you to see my process here. Let's tack this guy. All right, so now this is the important cut. So what I do is I sacrifice a shingle that is essentially going to be the same thickness as the final shingle that's going to slide into place here. So what I do is I drop it down just a little bit below where the actual course line is here. So when you slide it up in there, it'll be super tight if everything goes as planned. and see how she fits. Give it a little tap. And that's essentially what you're looking for. And that's why I leave my returns long, so I can cut them in place on the house and get a pretty nice tight fit. Now again, we're working with the Lifespan here, which is a pressure treated trim board, so I'm not awfully worried about not back priming that return. All right, so we're gonna take a quick look at an installed casing with the siding installed as well, and just go back to a point I had made earlier about why I don't do returns on the windowsill here. Again, going back to my main point is that if I did a return on the sill, it would bring me back into the house right about there. And I think what I had said last time is about, say, 3/8, a tall 5/16 return back into the house. And what it does again is it creates that false chorus line where if I was carrying my line across, I would want to hit right here, but where my shingle actually wants to hit is right there, is right that true connection where it just gives you, when you stand back, that nice, true, even lines all the way across. This way, your visual underneath the window right here is all the same. The course looks the exact same under here for the most, exact same under here as it does over here. Especially on windows that are above head height. When you would look up under here with windows with a return on them, it really just doesn't look right. It looks 3/8 bigger, and it just doesn't look good.